The major headline here says, fear grips Plateau residents as gunmen kill 50. Several houses razed, communities deserted. Village head youth leaders confirm killings. Security agencies keep mum. CBN's benchmark interest rate hits 26.25% to sustain past gains. Governor Inuwa backs calls for state police. Minimum wage. Again, Labour rejects federal government's 54,000 naira offer. Hardship. We won't cut corners to revive economy, Shettima. Northern leaders, or rather Northern elders, want regional disparities addressed. Kano Assembly set to amend Emirates Council law. Iran searches for a new future after Rice's vet. 2024 Hajj, we have no visa issues, says Nakon. And of course, on our page 2 of our editorial called Our Stand, it's all about Raisi, Iranian president dies. You may want to pick up a copy of Leadership newspaper to read all about that. And of course, on our back page, Wednesday column with Olufunke Bariwa, it talks about girls, not brides. And down below on our Ghana Must Go, workers lock out Minister of Power. Did they leave the lights on? Well, that's a question. You might pick up a copy of Leadership to get an insight on all of these news stories today. Moving on now to the Vanguard, the major headline here says, inflation battle. CBN raises interest rate to 26.26%. OPS protests. NPR hike poses danger to economy, says Nasima. NECA highlights negative impact on investments, inflation. Additional burden for businesses, says CPPE. There is no magic wand, Kadoso. Still on Vanguard Petrol, marketers fret as depot prices rises to 710 naira per litre in Lagos. Gunmen kill 40, burn houses in Plateau community. Students' loan scheme non-discriminatory, says Vice President Shettima. And still on Vanguard, minimum wage. Labour federal government meeting ends in deadlock. FG's 54,000 naira offer is wage reduction, says Labour. No governor in attendance. Meeting to reconvene today. CDWR calls for mass action. And still on Vanguard, reforms to eliminate waste, corruption, Edo Guba, Oyofo, Alimikena, Ogiadome, Omobayo mobilize for Igodalo assure victory. And still on Vanguard here, on sports, Finidi, World Cup target keeps me on my toes. That's all from Vanguard. Let's move on now to The Punch. The major headline says 26.25% interest rate. Private sector fears loan repayment crisis. Previous interest rate hikes killing businesses. 1.5 trillion naira bad loan may rise, says operators. Minimum wage. Meeting adjourned as Labour rejects fresh 54,000 naira offer. Tinubu okays $750 million for rural electrification. Naira slide pushes Dangote diesel to 1,100 naira per litre. Reps panel to probe faulty presidential aircraft. Still on Vanguard, medical tourism spending falls by $5.24 million, says CBN. I didn't start governing fully until this February, Fubara. Governor mourns 9 killed in fresh Plateau attack. 3 billion naira donkey bones meat intercepted in Sokoto, Niger. And finally on The Punch, Tinubu mourns as Kano Mosque bombing death toll rises to 17. Moving away from The Punch and now to The Nation. Shettima, government's tough options prevented economic downfall. Petrol subsidy cut has impacted positively, said Yuguda. Ganduje lists fits. President orders probe of Kano Mosque fire as death toll rises to 17. Minimum wage talks continue today after Labour rejects federal government's 54,000 naira offer. States lose battle over hold on council's funds. Fubara swears in commissioners cleared by 3 lawmakers. And finally on Vanguard, or rather on The Nation, experts differ with CBN with over interest rate hike. Lending now attracts 26.25%. Apex Bank collaborating with fintechs to boost financial sector. And let's take a look at The Nation still. State varsities for student loan. Bandits kill 9, raise houses in Plateau community. Moving away from The Nation, let's take a look at The Guardian. The major headline here says MPC outcome. CBN guns for stable currency. FPIs as rate hike hurts businesses. APC dismisses merger talks as Obi visits Labour Party Secretariat. Again, Labour rejects 54,000 naira minimum wage proposal. Yobe, Benue, Anambra senators clash over farmers' headers crisis. Bandits kill 46 persons, raise homes in Plateau. Court quashes tenure extension for Rivers local government area chairman. Death penalty for drug traffickers not proven effective, says UNODC. Fresh nationwide strike looms universities over ASU's demands. And finally on The Guardian, Nigerian startups get 92.3% of Africa's $15 billion funding in 5 years. Moving away now from The Guardian and on to Daily Sun, the major headline here says, Labour rejects federal government's fresh offer of 54,000 naira minimum wage. ASU threatens to invoke no pay, no work with withheld salaries. Again, Peter Obi lampoons federal government. Shetima urges Nigerians to sacrifice for brighter future. Experts kick as CBN raises interest rates to 26.25%. Anxiety in Kano as Assembly moves to amend Emirate Council law. Threats by security forces won't hinder May 30 seat at home. IPOB. Still on Daily Sun, Rivers. Court declares extension of local government council tenure unconstitutional. Another bloodbath in Plateau as terrorists kill over 40. Sack community. Economic hardship. Social chaos looms. ACF warns. And moving away from Daily Sun, finally, let's take a look at THISDAY newspaper. The major headline here says, again, CBN raises MPR to 26.25% to subdue inflation. Still on THISDAY newspaper, Cardoso, monetary tightening yielding desired outcomes, banking system safe, sound despite headwinds. Still on THISDAY newspaper, plans stronger regulatory framework for fintechs. NECA, Tariba, CPPE says aggressive monetary tightening squeezing businesses, hurting borrowers. Naira sustains gain on official window, stable at parallel FX market. Still on THISDAY newspaper, Ganduje, although not election period yet, we are working to secure Tinubu's re-election. FG's policies focused on what works best for Nigeria, Shetima's aides discloses. Still on THISDAY newspaper, prosecutor says he was told ICC was established by African Russian leaders. Minimum wage talks. Labour rejects NECA, FG's offer of 54,000 naira. UK government. Nigeria's capital market needs $10 billion financing yearly to meet SDGs by 2030. That's all we can take from this day newspaper. Of course, that brings us to a close today on Inside Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cynthia Onwado.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio.